Hello, everybody. Welcome to Little Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like. Trying to hit 50K subscribers over here, so your subscription would be much appreciated. We are just 3 days removed from a new deep dive being released on my main channel, Deep Dives with Rusty Buckets. If you have not been aware of that channel, then now is a good time to be made aware of it. I'd really appreciate it if you checked out that video when it came out. But with that out of the way, we got tier list number 4, and I'm serving it up right now. Got the power forwards tier list this time around. As I mentioned in the last time, I went ahead and relabeled some of these roles. Unfortunately, both small forward and shooting guard was a really sparse list because there's just not that many actual dudes who play those positions. It feels like if you're a small forward, you're probably going to play a lot of power forward and get labeled at that position. Or if you're a shooting guard and you're good at dribbling, at least you're going to end up playing the point guard position. So just kind of thin at the small forward and shooting guard spot. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more dense. But with that mentioned, let's go ahead and get into it. And we have Aaron Gordon starting off as a B for good to great starter. Alex Sarr, we're going to go ahead and put him in good or solid starter, great backup. He did have a pretty good rookie year, but I don't really have a great answer for him right now. I'm not going to bother rating Caleb Martin. Chet Holmgren, I am going to put him in B. I'm not going to label him an all-star yet. He was averaging like 18 and then also being in the top of the DPOY discussion with the Thunder this previous year before he ended up getting hurt. However, I don't think I'm going to label him that based on a good short stretch at the start of the year, especially considering with the recent context in mind of how bad he played in the playoffs and especially in the finals. Derrick Jones Jr., I think I'm going to label as a solid bench player. A lot of people got really high on him after the Mavericks run, understandably so, but he had some serious limitations that are the reason why the Mavericks did not end up keeping him, although I wouldn't say the Dallas Mavericks keeping you or not is necessarily a reflection on your ability as a basketball player. Dorian Finney-Smith, I am going to say solid starter / great backup. I do think Dorian is a pretty damn good starter. I feel like good is better than solid for him, but also I don't think he ever gets near the great starter category, so it feels better to put him in C than B, but admittingly it is pretty close. Draymond Green is a tough one because all the impact metrics would suggest that Draymond still very much dominates the game in the non-box score categories, but he has declined in the box score category, and that's not nothing. I also don't think he's quite the devastating defensive player that he was at his absolute peak, and I thought it was fucking ridiculous that it was people tried to shoehorn him winning a DPOY into this year. God, that didn't happen because what a fucking disaster that would have been. But I think I'm gonna have to put him in the good to great starter, even though everybody hates him and thinks he's overrated. He is indeed still a pretty good to great starter. Evan Mobley, gonna go ahead and put into this all-star category. Not only is he the DPOY, but he has also made a significant leap as an offensive player, like 18-ish points per game this year. Really good mismatch attacking. And the 3-ball is starting to become a genuinely real shot for him. Giannis, we can easily jump into that superstar tier. No need to discuss that. Jabari Smith Jr., I think, gets solid starter / great backup for right now. I would say the same about Zachary Risachet. Jaren Jackson Jr., gonna put him in the all-star category, although he's not super far removed from that superstar category within the power forward position, but Jason Tatum is in that superstar category. Jeremy Grant is a difficult player to evaluate because he's definitely not really killed it in the impact department, but his box score stats have improved dramatically. I feel like him and Draymond Green have the opposite career trajectory for the past couple of years, where Jeremy was this great little things guy who became more and more a box score guy, where Draymond's this great little things guy who became less and less a box score guy at all, while Jeremy lost a lot of the little stuff things that he used to do. So like if Jeremy managed to like combine who he was defensively in Denver and OKC with who he is offensively in Portland and Detroit, then he would be an all-star caliber player. But because his scoring often comes outside of the flow of the offense, he shoots the ball more than you would like it to. While he certainly cleaned that up a little bit this year by contrast to the past, I still do think that he's probably just a solid starter. And I don't know. Let me, I'm pretty sure I know roughly what he averaged previously, but I just want to be a little bit more confident before I put a definitive placement for him. No, he's down to 14 this year. 14 points, but he's still taking 12 fucking shots. That's still too much, Jeremy, and his splits are awful. He shot 38% from 2 on 6 attempts per game, and like 47 games. It's not a crazy sample size, but it's big enough, dude. Like, that's crazy. He went from 20 over 4 years back down to 14, but then like he's not bringing the defensive intensity of his past. So yeah, I don't know. He's a really difficult player to evaluate and rank right now. I would really like to see him on a different team in a more winning context. Not that the Blazers can't be a more winning context, but I really don't feel like he's a piece of the puzzle for them in the same way that Anthony Simons really wasn't. But he's still here. He also makes a shitload of money, which decreases his value overall. Like 14 points per game and mid defense relative to what he's capable of for 30 up to $35 million a year. That is pretty rough, buddy. So I think I'm going to put him in the C tier. Hopefully he can bounce back from a really awful year. I did not realize it was that bad. I knew he wasn't averaging 20 anymore, but good God, if you're not going to impact in the little things area or the big things area, then you're not doing much of the anythings. Quote me on that. Jeremy Sohan of the San Antonio Spurs. Well, for one thing, he's instantly a better player because he's playing the actual fucking position that he's supposed to. So that makes a world of difference. And ironically, I think that did develop his playmaking ability to make him substantially better at that. But he still has not figured out how to shoot the 3 ball. He is pretty damn good inside the arc. I don't know exactly what his mid-range shooting percentages are, but it at least seemed like a kind of shot for him. No, 14% from long 2, 33% from 10 to 16. He's not even good at floater range. So basically, bro can hit layups and then his jump shot is ass, but he does get to the rim a lot. This previous year, 54% of his shots came at the basket, which is awesome. I think he benefited a lot from the spacing brought in by Victor Wembanyama, taking fucking 10 3-pointers per game. I also like that he took a career low field goal attempts, despite his minutes only going down a little bit. What was very bothersome to me about Jeremy Sohan earlier on, and especially in this previous year, was how much he was taking shots away from Wemby. Like literally him and Wemby were taking roughly the same amount of field goals per game. But he is a great defensive player. He is a good passer and decision maker, and he is a really good high volume finisher while not being overzealous in the same way that he was before. Also, 2.4 offensive rebounds per game in 25 minutes of action is really good. So yeah, I think I'm going to put him in C. Literally, if he develops a 3 ball, he's excellent. But there is very minimal evidence that that is ever going to happen. And I'm not holding my breath. Julius Randle. Do we put Julius Randle in the good to great starter category or the all-star category? Because he was a good to great starter in the regular season, and then he elevated his game for at least most of the playoffs to playing at an all-star level. I'm mostly going on the regular season for these because this is a ranking based on the previous year, but I think I'm going to put Julius in B. I wouldn't blame you if you put him in the A tier, though. He's probably the best guy out of these 4 so far anyways. Karl Anthony Towns played center all year, so I am not putting him on this list. That's egregious. Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray is a solid starter to great backup. Disappointing. A very disappointing player because his rookie year was excellent, and I really thought that was a sign of him potentially being a star caliber player within a couple of years, but no such luck. Then we get to superstar, and here we have Kevin Durant. How is LeBron James not on this list? How is Cat on this fucking roster, but LeBron James isn't? I didn't want to take the time to put every damn head on an NBA roster on this thing, and I figured LeBron should be a pretty easy lock lock-in, but apparently not. But LeBron would still be in that S tier based on this previous year. Did not have the best playoffs, but yes, LeBron in that superstar category, unfortunately, just not here. Zion gonna move into that all-star category. I do think he can get into the superstar category, but of course he needs to be healthy for a long enough stretch. Bridges, F for fuck you, shouldn't be in the league. Nikola Jovic. How has Jovic looked in this previous year? Because he had a decent stretch as a starter towards the back half of the last season. Yeah, he's up to 10 points, 37% on 4.5 attempts. Good playmaker, decent rebounder. Actually, not that great of a rebounder for being a power forward. He's pretty solid, pretty solid. I remembered him to be pretty solid. Stats do say he's pretty solid, so we're going to put him in the solid starter category. Paulo, all-star, borderline superstar, but not quite. Siakam, all-star, not rating Caleb Martin. Patrick Williams, not very good. Rui Hachimura was in the small forwards video. Scotty Barnes, all-star tier. I think Scotty Barnes made an all-star team. Am I mistaken? Yes. 2023-24, he was an all-star. So yeah, I'll put him in that all-star category. Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks is a very interesting player. I think he's more of an idea than an in-practice player to this point. Yeah, he only played 3 games this previous year, but I remember last year being like, dude, this guy's tall, he's athletic, and he shoots 38% from 3. He could be really something, but then he got hurt. So we'll have to see. For now, I'm going to put him into this solid starter, great backup category. And I think I'm going to put Tobias Harris, similar place. So yeah, do I want to make any adjustments to this? I don't think so. I guess I'll throw Martin in here just so that Derek Jones Jr. isn't so lonely. I guess we can rank him twice. But yeah, that's it. Remember, LeBron should be right here, right next to Kevin Durant as well. He just is not. But yeah, that is the power forwards tier list. I don't think I have any mistakes here. I think that's pretty good. Is there anybody that I want to bump or no? I think I got it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what ranks you think I did not get right, who you'd move up or down. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and shout out to Rudy for editing this video. Goodbye.